You don't know what to make? Well, you can always case the catalogue. Hey, welcome back to Karen's Papercraft. Thank you very much for watching. Wat leuk dat je bekijkt. Dankjewel. The annual catalogue contains a lot of templates that you can use to make cards with, and there's a whole bunch of them on page 22. Let me just quickly fold it open. Can you see? I'm holding it up for you. And today I've chosen this one, and the card that I made with it is one I cased on page 61 in the catalogue. Isn't it very pretty? I'll just show you quickly. 61 was what I said. There we go. In fact, this card sample made me buy the bundle because I loved these flowers so much. I mean, the animals are cute, but I do like these flowers as well. And in the catalogue you will find icons that show you which templates on page 22 have been used for a particular card. You will also find here what colours they've used in the colour wheel. That's also a new addition in the catalogue. There's a whole section on colour theory with a colour wheel with colours in the same type, monochrome, complementary colours, analogous colours and triadic colours. So read about that, it's really lovely. I am going to change the colour of the card. This is Daffodil Light, but I'm going to use Petunia Pop, which would work as well with the Lost Lagoon and the Pretty Peacock that I used for the leaves. So I'll start by making the card base, and I've made it a bit narrower. It worked better with the other measurements. Let me get my trimmer out. I'm first going to cut a piece which is 11 inches. Because I work in A4, I need to trim my paper. If you work in letter, you already have your cardstock at 11 inches. So 11 inches, and then that is 28 centimeters, and then 4 inches. So it's a bit narrower. 4 inches. In centimeters, that is, let me check my notes, 10.2 centimeters. And you're going to score this with a long side top at 5.5 inches, 14 centimeters. So, and you can fold that, and this is the card base. Then you're going to need a couple of 1-inch pieces by 5 inch. Now this isn't 5 inches, so I'm going to cut a long strip of cardstock, 1 inch, and another one because I'm going to need 3, 2.5 centimeters by, oh golly, 12.7 centimeters. So 1 inch by 5 inches, that's 1 and 2, and then number 3, and these go onto the card base like this, but it has a very nice effect if you run them through an embossing folder. You will see them much better. So I'm going to do that, and I'm using the Timber embossing folder. There it is, and I want the wood structure to go that way, so that's why I'm putting them in like this. Right, then close the embossing folder, put it between plate number 1 and plate number 4, and you can run it through your emboss machine. Let me just get it out for you. There we are. So you run it through. It's a 3D emboss folder, so you just need the 2 plates. Right. And then there's this wood grain structure on cardstock pieces, and it means that they show up much better. Oh, and a tip for you if you didn't know already, always run your emboss folders through with the hinge side first. If you don't, it'll push that way and you might break it there. So always run it through with the hinge side first of all. Right, then you can put these on your card. Because my card is 4 inches, I know that the middle will be at 2 inches, so that's 1, 2, okay. And then I can adhere these, and I want the wood structure to go on top, so that's why I'm putting them upside down. And you can use either tear and tape, or as I'm using in this case, Seal Plus. You put your card in the middle, 2 inches in the middle, and then you can see where the middle is, and then attach it. And you repeat with the other 2 strips. That sometimes happens when you've run it through your embossing folder, because the paper is not as flat anymore, so I'm going to use tear and tape. I'm not using liquid glue because I want a really strong glue, so I'll just use pieces of tear and tape. Yesterday I made a card and I used my Seal Plus and it was alright, but I know this can sometimes happen when it's been through an embossing folder, so I'll just use tear and tape. You would need an awful lot of liquid glue to stick it down because the paper isn't flat anymore, if you get my meaning. So you want to be sure that the glue attaches really well. So take your pick tool, remove the backing, and now I can use the first piece that I've adhered as a guide, so that they are equally spaced on the card base. So I always put the one in the middle on first, then you know on either side how far to stick them apart. And here too, so I'm checking if I have an equal border, so it's a 1/4 inch in between and all along the border. And this then, you can use your bone folder to make sure it attaches, and that's the card base ready. Then I'm going to show you the 2 mats that go on top. There's a cardstock mat and a basic white mat. The cardstock mat is 3 inches by 4 1/4, and I don't think I have a piece which is the correct size. Is this 3 inches? Well, it is actually. Okay, 4 1/4. Well, that's just a lucky coincidence. Let me just check to make sure it is 3 inches. Yes, it is. Right. And I'm going to need a basic white piece of cardstock, which is just a bit smaller. Oh, hang on. The centimeters. The cardstock piece, the cardstock mat, is 7.6 by 10.8 centimeters, and the basic white mat is going to be something on there. Well, use the other side. The basic white mat is going to be 2 7/8 by 4 1/8, so just 1/8 of an inch smaller than the coloured cardstock mat. So 4 1/8. There we go. Oh, it was nearly that size, and you see this will fit perfectly with just a tiny border around it, if I can show you. There we go. See? In centimeters, this is 7.3 by 10.5, so 0.3 centimeters less. Right, before I'm going to stick these down, I want to use the dies to create that arch of hearts on top, and I'm using the hearts and hugs dies. I've already taken mine out, the ones that I'm going to use. I've got them on a magnet sheet here, you can't see. So first I'm going to die cut this, and I'm putting it equally spaced, so at the top and at the sides. Adhere it and run it through my die cut machine. You will get these little hearts, which you could save for a shaker card. I usually have a box somewhere with all these tiny bits that I cut out. but I can't find it now, so I'm going to get rid of them. Right, so that is the little piece of cardstock. I'm going to use the Petunia Pop ink and a blending brush to just make a small, hazy cloud in the middle. So it's really dark, so I want it to be very light. My blending brush is still wet, I think, because I cleaned it this morning and I thought it was dry enough, but this will do. There's going to be an image on top of there, isn't there? Okay, so then I can adhere it to that piece of cardstock, and I'm using just a piece of seal in the middle and then the liquid glue around it. If it is equal on 3 sides, it should be okay on the 4th side as well. Stick it down. See, and this can go on top of the card. I'm going to put this on dimensionals later. First I'm going to continue making the decoration, and for that you're going to cut the grass and the leaves twice, and I'm using Pretty Peacock and I'm using Lost Lagoon. Now the Pretty Peacock, I've put adhesive sheet on the back that makes it easier to adhere, so I'll die cut this first and then I'll die cut the Lost Lagoon piece, for which I did not use any adhesive sheets because that is going to be adhered using dimensionals anyway. So I'll run this through. I've made this into a sticker this way, and then it's very easy to attach because these tiny bits are of course more difficult to adhere. So with my Take Your Pick tool I'm going to push it out of the die. Okay, that's one. And to die cut this piece, I'll trim it first. I'm going to do some partial die cutting. So I'll put this on a bit higher like that, and I'm going to put the, I'll show you when I've got the the cutting plate to show you. So this is what I need, and I'm going to adhere it. Now when you run it through your die cut machine, I'll put it on to show you. So you put it there, and then you have your cutting plate, and there's a beveled edge there. So I'm going to put the beveled edge on top of the letters Stampin' Up, so that when I die cut, it doesn't die cut the bottom part, otherwise you will have like here, you will cut the bottom part, and I don't want to cut the bottom part. I want to do it like this, you see. So you can do that by partial die cutting. So the beveled edge on top of the letters, and then I run it through my die cut machine. And it moved on me, see? I didn't cut it right. I put it in the wrong way, so that's what went wrong there. So I'll just trim this and try again, because this didn't cut far enough. So put it back on. These things happen. What I did wrong was that I die cut it and I put in this edge first, but I should have started from that way. So again, with the pressure of the die cut machine, so I'm putting the beveled edge on top of the letters stamping up, you can see that, and then I'll run it through, and now I'll start die cutting from this end. And this is what I wanted. I can show you. You see, it's just the grass which has been cut, but not the bottom edge, so this is better. Okay, so now you know what to look for or what not to do. Then with my snips, where are they? Here. I'm going to cut from the side and match the cut line up with the grass, and then this should come off. Okay, so a tiny snip there, that's better. And then you can trim this. And then it's ready to be put onto a piece of cardstock. This may be just slightly too long. On the left, right. So first I'm going to put this one on a bit higher, and then this one just a bit lower. I'm going to put one on top of the other. See, like that. So first I'm going to stick this down. Remember, it's a sticker. And then this one I'm putting on with dimensionals. Something like this. And then of course I have to die cut the flowers, and that's easy enough to do. I'm going to use the scrap pieces of the petunia pop. Sometimes they fall out of the die automatically, sometimes you have to help them a little. Now before I lose them, I'm going to put them back onto my magnetic sheet, which is of course out of camera range, but it is there. Right, then I'm going to need 3 of these and 3 of those, so there's just one extra. I'm going to use the mini dimensionals to stick them on, and for these almost heart-shaped flowers I'm going to use half dimensionals. For that I've just cut up through the middle. See, I can show you. And then you can attach them like that. And okay, I have no more half mini dimensionals left, so I'll show you how you can do this. Take your scissors and just cut right up the middle of a dimensional, and then you get half a mini dimensional, which is even smaller, and just right for the flowers. And for the other flowers I can use just a mini dimensional. I'm going to stick these on. And for the finishing touch I'm going to use the pearl jewels. You could stamp a sentiment there, that's what they did in the catalogue. I don't want to stamp on there because I want to keep this card as an any occasion card, and as soon as you put happy birthday on, it's a birthday card. And like this, it could be used for any occasion. I quite often leave out the sentiment on a card for that reason. So just taking off all these little backing pieces. So once you have this template, it's quite easy to change the colours, change the stamp set, change the dies, and you can use whatever you have and you have a lovely card. The template is ready there to be used. That's it for today. You can find all the details on my blog and the link is in the description box below. If you'd like to see more of my videos, there are some suggestions there. There's loads more in my channel. Thank you very much for watching. Dank je wel voor het kijken en see you next time. Bye bye, tot ziens!